Leaders must serve. Leaders should be your best servers, serving your employees, your teammates, your clients. And if you feel that you're too big to serve, then you're probably too small to lead. Leaders know and realize that leading is about impact. You have the opportunity to change lives. Your future opportunities are based on your current choices.
Up to the management, I was like, Coach, put me in.
Fired. That was my third time being fired. Demoted, rejected.
Give it FORSETT, left side, and he's in for the touchdown! Justin FORSETT! FORSETT running to the right, he comes it back to the 10, 5, he's in for a touchdown! Justin FORSETT making it easy. A nice game for Justin FORSETT with over 100 yards in the first half alone.
All right, let's give a thunderous round of applause for our guest this afternoon, the NFL's little engine that could, Mr. Justin FORSETT. Let's give it up right there. Say goodbye. You have a story that's different than most, and I think your story has resonated with so many people, and I think it's going to help you, everyone who's here and everybody who's watching. Because his story is one of perseverance, and we all can see people, and you know, there's 80,000 people chanting your name, and you got all these accolades and so on and so forth, but rarely do people understand the struggle and the challenge.
His message is not a football message. His message is a life message.
And when people can hear a story like that, all of a sudden it makes us look at our own story and go, my gosh, if he persevered through that, I can persevere through this.
I know you guys are looking at me like, man, this guy played 9 years in the NFL. I look like a weird combination between Kevin Hart and 50 Cent. I get it. I get it. I hear it all the time.
I grew up, the city was called Mulberry, Florida. It's right by Lakeland, Florida, where the Tigers have their training camp. And the actual city got its name from a tree that sits in the middle of town where they used to hang slaves a long time ago. I couldn't control where I grew up. Not a lot of people make it out to accomplish their goals and dreams and aspirations.
I remember that declaration, like, man, I don't care how it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to play in the NFL one day. I'm going to be successful. People always told me, man, you're too small, you're too short, you're too slow, even back then when I was in Pop Warner. And they kept telling me 6 words. 6 words I've heard in some form or fashion my entire life. And those 6 words were, we know what you can do. We know what you can do. But I didn't care about that. That was just noise. I knew I had a dream. I knew I had a goal. And I made a declaration early on that, man, I'm not going to allow those things that happened to me and my family to happen to my family, my future kids will never have to worry about having the power going out or having to live out of a motel or having to run from the repo man if I had anything to do with it.
But I can't remember the messages that my mom would tell me. Just keeping the faith, continue to work hard, excel at what you can control.
So I put in the work, I was disciplining my body, and I was doing those push-ups and sit-ups. I remember in the middle of Texas heat in the summer, I was out by myself, just me and my sweat, just running up and down the field, sprinting, trying to beat my body up. So every opportunity I got, I was gonna maximize it, making sure I was putting in that preparation to seize every moment that came my way. Today, I'm gonna share with you a little bit about my story and chat with you about how better think about your time when you're waiting on your breakthrough. I realized at a fairly young age that greatness grows best in the shadows. I'm gonna say that again. Greatness grows best in the shadows. And what I mean by that is that your greatest gains in life don't come when you're at the mountaintop. They come when you're on your climb and you're on your pursuit to the top. Those are times when you get your greatest breakthroughs and you reach your greatest accomplishments and your greatest gains. I wanted to be mentally sharp and physically sharp. So one way I was able to be mentally sharp was when I was in that back seat on those paper routes, I had a flashlight in my hand and a playbook in my hand. And I was back there memorizing all the plays, all the terminology, because I wasn't going to let anything stand in my way. I wasn't going to let new terminology, a new playbook, a new place, a new college, none of that was going to stand in my way. I want to remove all excuses and all doubt.
You must excel at what you can control. You must excel at what you can control. Now, I was always the shortest, the smallest, not really the biggest guy. I kept hearing some of those same messages I was hearing throughout my life. This guy's got too many limitations. We know what guys this size can do. He won't make it at this level. But I couldn't control that. But what I could control is how I thought about those things and how I allowed those things to motivate me.
Those things that I control, I made sure they were at a premium level. My attitude, my effort, my preparation. Those things that I could control, I make sure I excelled at because those things kept me until I got my breakthrough. Have you ever faced a bit of adversity in your life? Have you ever faced some difficult times? Has someone undervalued you? Have you ever felt unappreciated? Show of hands. Anybody that ever felt those things before, ever in life? So my question to you is, how are you responding? For the longest time, when I faced adversity, I would ask the question, why? Why me? But the question that we should be asking when we go through adversity is not why, but how. How can I use this for my good? How can I use this to benefit me in the long run? I knew for me, I wasn't going to allow those things to define me. I was going to allow those things to refine me and make me a better man, a better person. So every bit of adversity that I faced, I used it as motivation. I used it as fuel. I allowed those things that tried to hurt me or deter me to push me instead of pull me from my destination and my destiny. It was a mindset. It was a mind shift. It was a mentality. It was a perspective that allowed me to get over those humps.
But that's when I learned that there's another thing that you need to do while you're in the shadows. And that's you must build a huddle.
You can't do life by yourself. You have to build a team around you.
You need that in your life. Because with the ebbs and flows of life, it can get very difficult. And you need people that's going to pour into you, that's going to lift you up, that's going to encourage you when times get bad. When the headlines say one thing about you, these people can remind you who you really are and what you're rooted in. It's important to have that huddle. Not a group of yes men, but people that are going to hold you accountable. They're going to speak truth to you. People that are going to tell you to keep pushing when you need to push and to pivot when you need to pivot. It's important to have that circle of trust. Been around a lot of great leaders and learned what it takes to lead while in the shadows. One thing I learned about leadership and leaders must serve. Leaders should be your best servers, serving your employees, your teammates, your clients. You have the opportunity to change lives. And that's what leaders are. They're difference makers. As a leader, people should know when you're there and when you're gone because you have that much impact. Leaders are engaging. They don't project this notion of superiority like I'm up here and you're down there, but they engage with everyone. And it's the little things. And if people are your most important component, then you have to invest mostly in them. That's what I've seen. You have to invest in people. You have to invest in relationships, because when you're performing, it's about chemistry. You have to be able to have relationship with people to develop chemistry.
But I can tell you right here today, and I'm gonna be that voice for you, like Stephen was for me. I got you. I'm with you. I believe in you. And at the end of the day, I love the passage that you used earlier this morning. It says, so let us never grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap, if we do not give up.
Yep, that's right. There it is.
Let's not give up.
Yep,
That's my time.
that's
Thank you,
beautiful.
guys.
Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Justin FORSETT. Way to go, buddy. Thank you. Come on.